Alright, so the Miami Heat have recently signed guard Kyle Lowry from the Toronto Raptors. So Kyle Lowry was an unrestricted free agent this season following the season that he had with Toronto. Now, the season he had with Toronto, we can't really call it disappointing because in reality, Kyle Lowry didn't really disappoint this season. It all went almost as we expected, as the Raptors, they didn't have much depth. They were battling through a couple injuries. They were having COVID protocols like crazy, and they were playing in Tampa. So they just had so much going against them, and the Raptors really made it through a rough season. Obviously, they were rewarded with Scotty Barnes, which personally, I don't really like that pick too much. I always feel like, hey, maybe you might have gotten him too high, but hey, regardless, when you want a guy, you go out there and get the guy no matter what pick it is. So, okay, enough of all that. Let's talk about Kyle Lowry on the Miami Heat. So, Kyle Lowry reportedly signed a deal worth $90 million for 3 years. And in those 3 years, the contract will go higher in base salary. So the base salary will increase roughly 1 to 2 million after every season. So he will be signed to the Heat 23-24. So personally, I really do like this fit. Why? Because the Miami Heat, they've always had a decent point guard recently in Goran Dragic or Kendrick Nunn, but they haven't had an experienced point guard just like Kyle Lowry. So for example, the Heat pick up Kyle Lowry. Now he just opens the floor up so much, and he has so much knowledge, so much to play for. While yes, he is an older guard, and by the end of his contract he'll be 35 plus, I still personally believe this is a good signing simply because Kyle Lowry brings that experience, he brings that championship mentality, and he brings all the things that you need. You see, the Heat, you can't keep relying on your young guys, on your rookies, to help carry you through the season. Some people might call them the bubble team, the bubble frauds, but personally, I think the Heat, yes, they did overachieve making it to the finals, but I still believe that with Jimmy Butler leading that team, they can make it to anywhere. So let's break it down a little bit. So you get Kyle Lowry, a scoring guard. He can be score first or he can be pass first, play first. It all depends because him playing next to Fred VanVleet was a great fit in Toronto. Obviously, they won a championship even with Kawhi Leonard next to them. So Kyle Lowry, he does those small things, he does the intangibles, and he gets under the opposing player's skin. I mean, as an Orlando Magic fan, people hate the guy in Orlando simply because of the way he just gets under people's skin. So I do enjoy watching him play. I think it's a great signing for the Heat. Now, the one thing that it might disturb a little bit is now that you have Kyle Lowry, how are your young guys going to feel about this? You see, the Miami Heat have like this weird thing where they can't decide if they want to go all in now or if they want to wait a little bit and develop their rookies. Well, not their rookies, their younger players. So it almost seems like they're in between. They don't know if, hey, do we want to hit the reset button or do we want to compete now? You just have Jimmy Butler sign that extension, huge extension. I loved it for Jimmy Butler. I do believe he deserves every penny of that contract. So you just signed Jimmy Butler to this massive long-term contract, and now you just signed Kyle Lowry for 3 years. So looking from the outside in, clearly this means that this team wants to compete and develop their young guys at the same time. Now, your young guys have shown that they're capable of taking the next step when it matters, as we had Tyler Hero do it in the playoffs several times. Duncan Robinson was a reliable shooter until they really got into the finals, and then by that point, it was just the Lakers' defense suffocating him. So the Heat have shown that they can get rookies, young guys, young talent, and turn them into players that can help you win now. And it's something insane to watch because their rebuild was only like a season or two long after LeBron. So all in all, I do believe this is a great signing for the Heat, as I've repeated several times. The money, it's Miami, so it's a pretty big it's a pretty big market. So they'll always have extra money to spend. They'll always have money. And then the thing is, being in Miami, there's always going to be guys that want to play there. So as we already saw, they also signed PJ Tucker along with Kyle Lowry. So, but I do have to say, this is reportedly a 3-team trade or a sign-in trade. One of the two. The details haven't really came out yet. We're all still waiting on them. But if you're the Sixers, if you're the Lakers, how do you feel about this? Because you had the chance to get Kyle Lowry midway through the season, and he was most likely going to re-sign with you because he'd be in a championship contending team. For example, Kyle Lowry on the Sixers, that's his hometown. He'll love staying there, I'd assume. and he's gonna have a winning team around him. So, and I do believe Kyle Lowry would have made the difference against the series with the Hawks because the Sixers were right there. They were right there from winning that series. But some late game slip ups, and some might blame Ben Simmons. Well, yes, he does have the fault, but Kyle Lowry would have helped you a lot. So maybe if you're the Sixers, you regret not trading for Kyle Lowry simply because now you don't have that veteran presence, and now you don't have that point guard that you know has proven to win in any situation. And then if you're the Lakers, with the situation you're in now, do you prefer Westbrook or Kyle Lowry long term? In other words, I mean, me personally, I would prefer Westbrook just because Westbrook is the more athletic, the more superstar player. Kyle Lowry is more of a he's fallen back from an all-star. More now he's more like you can see him turning into a role player type of player. So I do really like this signing, like I said, but if I'm the Sixers or the Lakers, I mean, I'm not really too concerned about it because Kyle Lowry wasn't really going to come in there and be the difference maker in between winning a championship and not. So those are my immediate thoughts on this trade. I do like the trade, as I've said before. I hope the Raptors get something in return, maybe Goran Dragic. But Goran Dragic off that Heat bench would be amazing. So thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, let me know what other free agent signings or trades you'd want to hear about. I am open to talking about all of them, even if it's Kelly Olynyk to the Pistons. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out of here. Peace out.